Good evening. I'm Ken Worcestershire, and welcome to the Dirty Dozen Weekly Roundup Draft Recap Edition. Tonight, we'll take a look at each of the 12 teams and do a deep dive into the first 5 picks of each team. As we know, these picks are where our league is won and lost. Let's begin with the team who had the first overall pick, Andrew. His first 5 picks started with Christian McCaffrey, the consensus number 1 overall pick. You'd have to be brain dead not to choose him first, and Andrew is living proof that even the brain dead can make such an easy decision. His following picks were great in both the consensus number 2 tight end George Kittle and a top receiver in Chris Godwin, but followed by an unproven rookie running back Jonathan Taylor and card-carrying senior citizen Tom Brady, who is as weaponized in Tampa Bay as the state of Florida is weaponized with Corona. This truly is looking like the team to beat. Next up, we have Bruno, who, as pictured here, must have busted quite the nut while grabbing his first 5 picks. With a proven stud running back in Saquon Barkley and having the lead rookie back Clyde Edwards-Helaire on a championship caliber team slide all the way to his second pick, he truly is looking like the team to beat. While he may worry about things like Deshaun Watson not having star receiver DeAndre Hopkins to throw to, Mark Andrews being on a wild and unpredictable offense, and Odell Beckham Jr. being a Cleveland steaming Brown, he should still feel quite confident about his chances. Let's take a look here at Victor, pictured appropriating another culture. With the third overall pick, he may have surprised a bit by taking the top-ranked quarterback Lamar Jackson, who is an excellent pick in a Superflex league, though some may have expected a running back pick instead. His second pick was Austin Eckler, a player Victor is quite familiar with. His remaining players would have made his team the team to beat, if he was drafting in 2016. His next 3 picks in Adam Thielen, Melvin Gordon III, and a new Bills receiver Stephon Diggs would have all been great picks just a few years ago. Will they be just as good picks this year? That will remain to be seen. Following Victor, we have Matthew with the 4th overall pick being used on the almost holdout Alvin Kamara, who could be a top 3 running back if he ends up playing all 16 games with minimal vultures from his fellow teammates. His next picks were above average quarterback Dak Prescott, the crowded Philly backfield lead Miles Sanders, the effective Buffalo Bill Devin Singletary, and a potentially breakout player in DJ Moore, who had a pretty decent season in 2019 and could very well do much better with a better quarterback throwing to him the entire year. With Matthew having one of the top projected scores this week, he truly is looking like the team to beat. 2019's reigning champion Harrison took the reigning Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes, who automatically makes this team look like the team to beat. While his top receiver Mike Evans may be in line for less work due to the breakout of Chris Godwin, he'll still have Tom Brady throwing to him, which will hopefully dink and dunk him to 0.5 PPR heaven. He also has Aaron Jones leading his backfield, who had a very strong 2019 season when healthy. With the criminally underrated Cooper Kupp as his second receiver and the possibly injured David Montgomery as his second back, he will have his work cut out for him as he will have to lean heavily on his top 3 players. To flip the script completely, we come now to 2019's reigning bum Nolan, who went 2-11 and is looking to improve to at least 3-10 this year, behind the efforts of stars Ezekiel Elliott and DeAndre Hopkins. Josh Allen looks to have better weapons on the field this season, so hopefully he continues to improve. But David Johnson is a massive question mark as he's fallen from grace of late. Tyler Lockett is a great 5th round pick and should hopefully bring some strong consistency to his second wide receiver position and help Nolan look a little less like the team who truly gets beat. Former league champion Ravi is looking to spring back from an awful 2019 season with some very interesting first 5 picks. He took the potential holdout and injury-prone Dalvin Cook with his first pick, but failed to secure his handcuff Madison, which could prove a big mistake if Cook doesn't play the full 16. His following picks in Kyler Murray, Kenyon Drake, Allen Robinson II, and A.J. Brown were players that had very strong 2019 seasons at points, many of them to finish out the year, and Ravi will be looking for them to continue strong into 2020. If they manage to, he will truly look like the team to beat. Durkis J. Pereboom made a splash with the surprise pick of Russell Wilson in the first round. Wilson has the potential to be a top 3 to 5 quarterback, but Dirk may have been able to grab him in the second round and secured a stronger receiver than his 3rd round pick Kenny Golladay or 5th round pick Courtland Sutton. His only back in the first 5 is the starter for Las Vegas, Josh Jacobs, who should prove at least a strong and consistent scorer. Surprisingly, Dirk secured his second quarterback in Matt Ryan during the 4th round, leading many to believe Dirk highly values the superflex position. If these early quarterback picks pay off, Dirk's team will truly look like the team to beat. Christian was the first person in the draft to select a receiver, and he picked the consensus best in the league with Michael Thomas. Possibly surprisingly, he followed up that pick with another receiver in Julio Jones, leaving many starting running backs on the board. This strategy may pay off as he managed to grab Chris Carson, a strong and consistent player, and Todd Gurley II, who was one of the best running backs in the league just a few years ago. If he can return to even close to what he once was, and Matthew Stafford returns healthy, then Christian's team could truly look like the team to beat. Warren was the first player to choose back-to-back running backs, and he certainly picked some good ones. Derrick Henry was an absolute monster last year and is showing no signs of slowing down, while Joe Mixon is hoping to have an even stronger year this year with a better Bengal team, so long as his migraines don't keep him out. Drew Brees was his third round selection, as good a quarterback as one could want, and choosing Amari Cooper in the fourth round seems like a steal, so long as he gets his fair share of targets in a talented receiving core. Fifth round pick Aaron Rodgers is one of the boomiest quarterbacks around if he's having an on week. If all these players manage to go off consistently, Warren's team will truly look like the team to beat. Yasmin's first selection in the draft was Nick Chubb, a player who was consistent but not great throughout the 2019 season. He followed it up with Tyreek Hill, a player who was consistently great when he was available to play. Taking Carson Wentz in the third may sure to be a risky play, as the offensive line and many skill position players for the Eagles seem to be injured. Perhaps the team is haunted. Rounding out his final two picks are players both from the Steelers, and James Conner, who has played with injury but has shown he can be a bell cow back, and Juju Smith-Schuster, who plays extremely well with Ben Roethlisberger under center. If these players can play to the best of their ability, Yasmin's team could truly look like the team to beat. Michael is looking like the team to beat in that you should be looking at your schedules to see when you will beat him. His first pick, at least, was Devontae Adams, an excellent wide receiver that has great rapport with Aaron Rodgers. His following pick may have been a slight reach with tight end Travis Kelce, but Michael is known to harbor a secret forbidden love for this handsome and talented player. Unfortunately, his next two picks were questionable at best and horrible at worst. Leonard Fournette, who was cut from his original team and is now fighting to be the lead back on Tampa Bay, and Le'Veon Bell, whose coach Adam Gase would likely rather start the corpse of Frank Gore instead. His fifth round pick was Calvin Ridley, who at least should do well against lesser defenders, as the main matchups will go up against Julio Jones. And there you have it, the 2020 COVID Dirty Dozen Draft Recap. The takes were hot and the production value hotter. So let's hope for a great season that plays all the way through. Have a great week one. We'll see you next week to discuss the results.